Okay, we're going to go over a few answers to the sentences from Colby on page 23. So we start with, since the work was finished, he went home. Now all we have to do here is sort of unpack this clause, since the work was finished. Doesn't have anything to do with he went home. We have to unpack it and make it sound more like an ablative absolute. So, with the work having been finished is what we need to do. Then we're going to put the word work into the ablative and make the perfect participle of proficio agree with it, opere perfecto, and then he went home. You have to know that home takes the accusative locative, right? So, domum discessit. Okay, sorry about the slide there. Right, moving along, number 2, upon learning these things, he demanded all the booty. Well, here, we have to look at upon learning these things, and we have to realize that the verb to learn, if we say cognosco, right, is an active verb here. So we cannot make this a present active participle because it's not a deponent. Right? Because the learning happens before the demanding. So we have to flip it with these things having been learned. Okay? His rebus cognitis. Now why do we have to use cognosco instead of discere? Because discere does not have a fourth principal part. So it does not have a participle that works. So you say his rebus cognitis, which should be familiar to you from Caesar. Then he demanded all the booty, omnem praedam postulavit. Number 3, under the leadership of Marcus, we crushed the enemy's horsemen. All right, now how do we say under the leadership of Marcus? Well, we have to be familiar with this idiom, which takes the ablative absolute, where you just take the word leader and the word Marcus, well, and you put them in the ablative. So with Marcus being leader, of course there's no participle being in Latin, so all you need is Marce duco, and then now we crush the enemy's horsemen. Fine, equites hostium oppressimus. Opprimo is the verb Colby gives for to crush. Number 6, did you find a few boys working diligently, Brutus? So with this one, first of all, we look at the word boys, and it appears to be just in a regular accusative case. And we take a look at the participle working, which is just a regular present active participle, right? So there's actually no ablative absolute in this sentence, and you simply put them in the accusative where they belong, the few boys, palkos pueros. You make the participle working agree with it, stick diligenter there in the middle. Now, did you find Brutus? Well, we need to stick Brutus in the vocative, so brute. In Venistine, did you find a few boys diligently working? All right, last one that I'm doing, number 7, setting out at midnight, he reached the mountain at daybreak. Now, here we both have to be aware of the verb to set out in Latin, and also we have to think carefully about the time relationship. Is he setting out at the same time as he reaches the mountain? I think not. So instead of saying setting out, we really need to say having set out, which, because the verb is proficiscor, a deponent, we can certainly do. So then we would use the perfect active participle. Right? We make it agree with he, right? Setting out at midnight, he reached the mountain. It can't be an ablative absolute anyway, because whatever you say, it has to agree with he. And so then you say profectus media nocte, right? Having set out at midnight. He reached at first light, at daybreak, and now we have to remember that pervenit is an intransitive verb, and so you have to say ad montem pervenit. Though reached in English is transitive, venio is intransitive. Okay, hope that was helpful.